जी दोस्तों एक बार फिर थोड़ा बहुत बहुत स्वागत प्रोग्राम हरजिंदर गिल शो 1350 AM. This is 2 minutes after 3 p.m. So Miss Rowena Santos, she's with us, counselor from regional counselor from wards 1 and 5. Rowena, once again welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So we have 4 callers and I would request we won't take any other calls, just these 4 callers will be entertained for today's call. Let's start with the first caller. His name is 𝗚𝗿𝗶𝗶 and number is 7490. Ajay, you are on air.
Yeah. Hello, Ms. Santos.
Hi there.
Hi. So my question is, I'm quoting from the report of Ontario Human Rights Commission about the planning bylaw, that they say that every bylaw, it should be applied to every part of the municipality. This is written on page 14 of the report on the bylaws. So a bylaw is applied first. If a bylaw is applied first and only to a particular part of the municipality, it's more likely to be arbitrary and could be seen as to be targeting the people within that particular area. It says in the end, the municipality may be targeting that group of people and could be susceptible to being found to be discriminatory contrary to the code. So, this is a discriminatory code. Like I had posed you the same question on Twitter, you blocked me as well. So like this can be challenged in the court. So I'm just asking you, like this report is by Ontario Human Rights Commission regarding any bylaw that is passed related to rental licensing. So that is my question. Like, I'm not making this thing up. This is page 14 of that report. You must be aware of that report as well.
Yeah, and thank you for that question. I know that our legal department and our city solicitor took a look at that particular issue. Now, because this is actually a pilot program, pilot programs are implemented throughout different municipalities quite often. And so this pilot program is scheduled to end within the next couple of years based on learning and practices that we learned from this particular implementation. And the plan is to extend it to the rest of the city of Brampton. So because this is specifically a pilot program to test, like I had mentioned, there are other projects throughout the city of Brampton, throughout the region of Peel, where we pilot different programs past different bylaws. So I'll give you an example. Another thing that we have done in terms of piloting a program is piloting speed reductions in areas of Brampton on local roads from 50 kilometers an hour to only 40 kilometers out an hour, in some cases 30 kilometers an hour. This is another example of a piloted program that is specific to a geography to test to see its effectiveness, and it's not necessarily rolled out through the entire city of Brampton.
Regarding rental programming.
Yes, it's a pilot program.
Yeah, but that speeding, it doesn't come under rental plan. What I read you is Ontario Human Rights Commission report, which specific to rental programmings in municipalities, nothing else. So this will definitely be challenged just ground, and you are just doing this for vote bank politics. Like, I hate to bring it up, but that's the bottom line.
So I will push back and say to you that that's not true. That's absolutely false.
Right. So Ajay, we will try to stick on one question because I have 3 more callers, and maybe to Ravi, I'll give him a little more time. Okay, brother. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Miss 𝗚𝗿𝗶𝗶. Sarabjit, you are on air.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Ms. Santos.
Hi.
We are so proud of you being a women leader out there and fully supported. And I live in your ward number 5. And just to let you know, I don't have any legal basement. And most of the landlords actually who are even opposing, not really opposing, they're questioning, actually they're opposing RRL, but they're questioning, they all have either legal units or they don't have any. Just to clarify, that's also misinformation. But now I have really high expectations of you, because when I attended the Delhi town hall meeting, the way I like, if I had to count how many times our mayor used the word slum landlord, I'm sorry. In today's where at this point in time when we are living, we should be aware of the language we're using, how others are influencing, and you are our role models. Okay. So now we don't want to, anything happens in the community, everyone's hearing, the future generation, the little kids are listening to it as well. So to me, I don't feel comfortable with that as well. Now you use that word, I'm so disheartened already, disappointed with that. But anyway, I'll move away from that for now. So that's one thing. I thought there will be some people like you who are very well educated, well aware of these things, and they will make our mayor aware of this. But I don't know who's going to do that job at the city hall. People need a lot of anti-racism, I think, training. A lot more work needs to be done. Thank you. So now I'm going to continue with that Tally Town Hall meeting. You said we were given the opportunity. The same way as today, I was on the call. I submitted my question. I submitted several questions online as well. And even Mayor mentioned my staff will be busy next 2-3 days responding to all those questions. We have not received any phone call, any email in reply. So that shows that we just don't care at the city, in the city. Or elected people, they don't care what the the residents are trying to express.
So Sarbjeet, let's hear Rowena now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your call here.
Thanks so much, Sarbjeet, for your two comments and questions. On the first one regarding the term slum landlords, that's a term that is pretty commonly used for to describe landlords who are neglecting their properties or not treating the properties well. And I know in wards, there are some areas in wards 5, landlords are not. People respect their property. They are so protective. They take care of their property, and there are really good landlords out there. And that's not who we're describing when we refer to slum landlords. Or the folks that I'm describing are, many of them, quite frankly, are in Ward 1, and many of them are in Ward 3, where you could really see the overgrown grass.
But
you could
Rowena,
see the garbage,
think...
you could see the rats, you could see the neglect. And despite efforts to try to get them to rectify and be compliant to property standards or health and safety standards, they refuse to do anything. And so those, when we're talking about slum landlords, those are the properties that we're talking about. And I hear you about being offended by the term. So that being said, I will change my way and not use that term because it specifically offended
Because in that way,
you.
most of the landlords are thinking that this is for everybody.
No, it's not.
It
It's
seems like
absolutely
this
not.
is just a sweeping statement for all the landlords.
No, it's not. That's absolutely not true. It's very specific to the landlords who've been causing us the biggest headaches and problems with respect to the thousands of complaints.
But still people want
and
to
I
know...
would be very happy to show people examples of what those properties
but Rowena,
look like.
people want to know more about those specific landlords only who are creating these kind of troubles. People want to listen about those people or those landlords only.
Yeah, and those are the landlords who we are targeting to hold more
is there
accountable.
any planning or any solutions or any kind of special penalties or anything happened with those kind of
Absolutely. And that is why the licensing of landlords program is so important, because through licensing of landlords, we can actually have another tool to hold those slum landlords to account, because they are going to be the ones with the most number of fines. They're going to be the ones who we're going to be targeting to make sure that they get their license, make sure that they have registered legal units, et cetera, et cetera.
So let's take next call.
Yeah.
Harjiti, you are on air. Hello.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon, Santa.
Hi.
So first, hi. I heard your story in the starting. That is, I really don't like that our women leaders, we are always proud of you. But my question, you told that people, they are in sport. First of all, I am pretty sure that people, they are in sport or legal. We all are a sport in the legal. Those who say that we are sport in RRL, specifically they are sport in a legal. We are all also in sport or legal, not illegal. So the people, they are confused when we have the legal unit already registered with you. What is the need of second time registration with you? And another thing, second thing you told, fire code, health and safety, that applies to all, not only rental. Everybody's life is important, even no matter he's on rent or owner. So I say that homeowner, I don't like to use the word slum, landlord or other, maybe few, but our leaders like you are laughing when you said slum landlord. So you should have some another words, that is those who are violating the rule. And second thing, you always lay stress, even our respectable mayor, we elected him, we are proud of him, but I don't like his language now. Every time you lay stress on landlords, they are violating. Might be the tenants, those who are living there, they might be not violating. They are violating, and one second, just I will complete it. Violating the rules, and you are laying stress on landlord. What do you want? You sent your landlord somewhere else? We are all also respectable like you, and we should respect each other. Another thing, you have the bylaw. You can amend any bylaw on the website, on the city's website. If every basement is legal, it shows the second legal registered unit.
Thank you, Harjinder. Thank you so much.
Why you need it the second time registration?
Thank you, Harjinder. Thank you so much. So Rowena, before you answer this question, because the Bramptonians are concerned about the body language of the council members, and especially the mayor's body language and the tone when they are addressing the whosoever is opposing this program. So I think this is something similar. Harjinder wants to know, and about the term. I think you have already answered the question. So just keep it brief, and then we will go to Mr. Ravi.
Yeah. So in terms of the tone, I think that particular meeting, the tone was very intense. Whether that is from the response from members of council or from the delegates in the room. There was a lot of yelling and screaming. There was interruption of the discussion. There was breaking of the procedural rules. There were different warnings about clapping or screaming. And so in terms of the tone for that particular meeting, the reaction from council, especially to the particular term that folks are concerned about, it was a tense meeting. What can I say? People who came to delegate were not respectful. They were interrupting the debate. They stormed out, yelling and screaming. So I think that meeting again was just overall a very difficult meeting to deal with.
Okay, let's go to Ravi Sohal. So Ravi, I'm sorry you were holding for long. So I know you must have many questions, and we could just start and finish with your call only. But I think we need to hear more calls too. So Ravi, you are on air.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ajit, for having me.
Harjinder, this is Harjinder.
Harjinder, and hello, Madam Santos.
Hi, Ravi.
Santos. So I do have the list of questions, which I'm not sure, because this is the platform where I can go for all of these questions. But I will try to be squeezed in the time which I have given by the Harjinder. Thank you for that, Harjinder. So, first of all, there is already, because the other callers have mentioned about the terms of the language which is giving that is giving the bad name to the whole Brampton. When our leaders are not respecting the city, it means nobody else can respect it. Because housing crisis is not only the Brampton problem. Yes, Brampton is the most populated because students are mostly international students are in the large number of people living there. And it's not only because where the word which we are using it, the tents are set up into the Toronto. Tents are in the Kelowna. They are the cities where the word can be used. Even their leaders are not using it. And as the mature leaders who are in the second term or the third terms, they have already gone through the roller coaster rides with the all and up and downs. When these residents are go to the council meetings, they are going for the first time. They are not prepared for all of that thing. If they are asking that question, there is a respective way to be answered that questions. That was my concern. I would raise it, but I will just stick back to the RRL. We are talking from the more reference, the people were not respecting into the council meeting and all that, and they were absent for that. After the lunch time, yes, there was an absence because it was a walkout. That is called a walkout because how they have seen it, how the councils were responding to that. It's a one-directional call, and that was the people have felt that this is not a right platform where the questions are not answered, and people were laughed on when they were talking. So from the senior members, and that was the walkout. And it was not the absence, it was the walkout from that because they felt that this council meeting is not a right platform. Okay, so the other thing we have also talked about the pilot program, I think, which is already mentioned, which is already the violation of the Ontario Human Rights Commission report. The reason is in your website, madam, your website has mentioned that we are bringing this pilot program into these wards because mostly the colleges are over there. So if the colleges are there, mean the students are living there. But specifically, OHRC is saying that if you are implementing a certain program into the certain area, and you should not target the student. They have used the word as a student in that report. And I gave 11 concerns, which are the documented concerns, because when we did not get the fair platform to be asked the bi-directional question, it's a bigger program. Definitely we need a bigger time, the larger time, so that we can have the discussions, we can put the points. We are not like coming as like only we are opposing it. Mm-hmm. There are the logical reasons why we are opposing it, right? So, I mean, that 11 concern which I handed over to the mayor and also the director of the bylaws on the other day when I had a meeting with the mayor one-on-one, and I haven't heard back because these questions are answered, and what is the resolution of that? I'll take a pause over there. Right. If you want to be answered it, then I'll go.
So maybe after that, Raviji, we will just take one more question, and after that, I think we'll have to wrap it up. Yes, Rowena. Yeah.
So that's there was a lot that Ravi shared. Yeah. I'm not sure where to start in responding to Ravi, because I am having a hard time trying to decipher where the question is in some of those comments. Harjinder, can you help me?
So Ravi, can we just go one by one, just a brief question, first question, and then we will hear Rowena.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, first we can just say that why this pilot program is targeting these wards where the students are living.
All right.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So it's not just students that the RRL pilot program is being implemented. It's being implemented actually, and this has been very clear in the number of reports and discussions we've had. It's being implemented in the areas of Brampton that have the highest concentration of complaints. So based on the research and the information, and we actually shared a map of the concentration of where the most number of complaints are related to property standards, safety issues, health issues on properties. These areas of wards 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7 have the highest hotspots of complaints. And so that's where it is being piloted. It doesn't matter if there are international students there or what have you. There has been conversations about it being in close proximity to post-secondary institutions like Sheridan or Algoma University. I think that correlation, there's some correlation there, but ultimately the wards that were chosen to be piloted have the most number of complaints.
Right. So Ravi, next point.
So, I mean, I would like to say that because that is mentioned on your website, that we are targeting this because most colleges are there. It is targeting the students. That can be checked on your website. Okay, so now my next question is that the early version of the RRL was forcing in the 4 max unrelated. And that is not mentioned of, there is a house, and house is a 4-bedroom. We're talking about the 4 perspective? First of all, how does the count 4 is coming into the picture? Because if we are going to the landlord and tenant board and RTA, and there is no count specified, and there is no such restriction, even the OHRC is giving the specifications that tenant has the right to share the room even without the consent of the landlord. If there is a contradictory laws which is protecting the tenants on that side, how can the city enforce that rule on the landlord, right, which is not unfair?
Right. So, Ravi, when you're talking about the number 4, are you talking about the number of units?
Oh no, because there was a clause was added that in the unit there should not be more than 4 max people are living. Unrelated people cannot live. That's the 4 is the max number that was given.
Okay, well, I can certainly look into that specific thing. If you want to send an email to my office and look at that specifically, the number 4 in terms of 4 units or less is actually a revision in the provincial legislation in terms of the total number allowed in terms of units in in a residential housing dwelling. And so the city amended our bylaws before implementing this program to allow single detached or what have you homes in existing neighborhoods to get registered for 4 units. In the past, it was only 2 that they were allowed, and now additional residential units, a maximum of 4. But in regarding your particular question about the number of people, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Right.
Yeah. So
Raviji, I think the last one, and then Mr. 𝗚𝗍𝗂𝗽 is also with us. So I'll just take one quick question from him too.
Okay,
we are already over the time actually.
For sure. I mean, I would like to request to Madam Santos where there is 11 concerns. There are the genuine concerns, references given to the every single legal point why we are fighting of that, why that reason is. I would request to the City Hall to give the answer, provide that answer publicly on all of these, the 11 points, because the same 11 points, because I will be having to send the booklet to every single media outlet so that the people can also ask the question why we were fighting about this one. And again, because there was a 25 basement thing which was highlighted, which is give the bad name to the Brampton. People have touched the stereotype. It will cover up in the news media. Now we are seeing these 25 people, because earlier it was mentioned 25 people are living in a single basement. This is how was into the national media's reports. Now we are saying that these 25 living into the 2 different units, legal units in that one. So should not we have to request these national media to revise that and publish the apologies, or the city has to be apologized about to be spreading the misinformation?
We have many complaints, many instances that are actually documented by police, by fire, where there are indeed too many people living in a house, whether that's 15 or 10 or 25 or what have you. And so the reality is, in these areas where the program is being piloted, in some of the neighborhoods that in the area that I represent in Ward 1, there are 100%. I've seen it with my own eyes. 10, 15, 20 people living in one house. So in terms of giving an example of what happened more recently, that's just one example. And there are reports that are public from previous council meetings that actually show pictures of some of the state of these properties that many of these people are living in.
Right. Okay, Raviji, thank you so much. I think we will just take one more round in the coming days, and let's take one last question from Mr. 𝗚𝗍𝗂𝗽. I know he's also working very closely on this petition, so we'll just take one last call, and I'll just drop other lines, and we will have to close it up. Thank you, Raviji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. 𝗚𝗍𝗪, you are on air, and this is a very quick call for you only.
Okay, thank you, Harjinder ji. Let me thank Rowena for taking time to come out on this live program. Let me tell, this program is a complete mess. Only solution is the in-person town hall meeting with the residents. The grade 10 students might have done a better job to draft this program. 75 students in a basement. That was a media statement given by the task force, including Rowena Santos and Patrick Brown. Brampton's reputation has been hampered by this elected representative. As per Rowena Santos' statement, Ward 7 was included in the last minute in the meeting. So those residents were not consulted. No one has been consulted. Putting the sign in a plaza, putting a sign in a garden center, talking about the web social media. Brampton has a population of 700,000 plus. All the residents must have been consulted, and this program might have been designed in a better way with consultation with all the residents of Brampton. This program is discriminating. We have the existing bylaws for everything. We are not the firm landlord. the people who we did a community meeting at Government Center, we are the compliant landlord. We believe in law, and these councils are saying those who were protesting are the slum landlord.
So actually, Dr. Saab, actually, she has already...
Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
Actually, she has already answered these questions. So I think we should...
No. I'm telling this one. This council is a mess. Only solution for this program, if the city, the Brampton Council is very, very keen to implement that program, they should have the in-person town hall meeting in all wards and consulting all the people of Brampton. Then they can design a better program with the help of the residents.
So
this program, the city council behavior is very, very arrogant. They don't care about the Brampton reputation. They don't care about the Brampton resident. And I will ask Ms. Rowena Santos, please, when you come to the program, come with a homework. Because when I was asked, there were 3 questions. You don't know what were the 3 questions in the survey. Let me tell you, it was the illegal basement, which the residents should crack down. Yes, we support that. And you
okay,
said
Mr.
the fines should be big or not. Yes,
okay.
we are in the favor of so many things, but you are not listening. This program is a garbage, and that can be only.
So actually, Mr. Azad, I think we should be respectful at this call, because I took your call on an exceptional basis. I think you need to respect my show as well, please.
I'm respecting everybody.
No. I think we shouldn't be talking in that tone. Actually, we were talking about the tone of the mayor and the council, and now listen your tone, buddy.
No.
So I think we should respect this platform because we have requested her to be on the radio, and she's with us and she's listening all the questions.
Okay.
And I respect you. I know you have been in our studio many times, but I won't allow this tone, especially to our guests. Right?
Because the residents are suffering.
Yeah,
that's why residents are really suffering this.
Yeah.
This program
because Mr. Azad, I think we should. I totally understand. I respect your feelings, but I think if we are expecting the nice tone from the council side, we should be behaving the same actually. So I'm sorry if I'm hurting you, but I won't.
You are very right, Harjinder. You see how the Brampton has been respected by saying the slum road 25 to 8.
Right.
It doesn't hurt us. It hurt only the council only, not the resident of Brampton who has a 700,000 population.
Right.
Are we not hurt? Even our voice is not being heard. We are requesting day one. We need an in-person town hall.
Perfect. So let's hear Rowena now. So I think we should listen her now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Harjinder, for hosting this program and on this particular topic. I know you've done it a few times before, and you could see from some of the passion from those who are opposing the program. I've done my best to answer many of their questions, and I'm happy to, if they were to email me further questions, happy to provide more responses. But the reality is this: the city of Brampton is in a housing crisis, right? We all know that. And these rental units provide an immediate solution to the housing crisis. And we've seen such an exponential growth of secondary units or additional residential units in the city of Brampton. And the city is responsible for upholding basic health, safety, property standards.
Right.
The status quo of just waiting for complaints and having bylaw to come in and investigate, people calling 311 to complain about properties, and then bylaw coming in to investigate again because the landlord's not doing anything to remedy the situation. It's costing also property taxpayers a lot of money to do that.
Right.
The registration program is a one-time registration program for your units. So if you're renovating your units and you're following building code, fire code, health codes, everything else, you register and there you go, you have a legal unit because it's been registered with the city. That's a one-time thing.
Okay.
So Harjinder, what happens if the person sells the property? What happens if the person is not renting the unit but has a registered unit? What happens?
I think
there
are many concerns from the landlord side. So that's why Mr. Azad and all other callers were asking these kind of questions. And these are for the Bramptonians
only. For sure. And I'm responding as to why the licensing landlord program exists. So the licensing program actually reminds people on an annual basis what the rules are, what rules are that they need to follow. It also makes sure that if there's any change in ownership of the property, that license is goes with whomever the new owner of the property is. And so I understand the concerns of some of the
So I think
landlords.
majorly, will there be any option when city can arrange some kind of in face-to-face town halls in different wards, or so that we can make it in a controlled environment, and people will be, I think especially whosoever is opposing this plan, so they will feel that their voice has been heard. So if city can arrange something for them and make it under the controlled environment, so city can take a charge of that, and you can decide your guidelines, and if everybody is agreeing on that, so then why not the city is offering something like that?
So at this point, we've already taken in a lot of the feedback, and I would imagine that the feedback that we got today and the feedback that we got from the delegates at City Hall, because a lot of it was very repetitive, the feedback we got from the telephone town hall, the feedback that we got from emails, social media posts, other media programs, newspapers.
And is there any transparency? Is there any transparency so that people can see if let's say, as you said, the thousands of people are in favor of this program? So why not the city shows all those emails and proofs and where people
we have
people
and so
are
we have in various reports in lead up to the development of this particular program. So we have in the different reports the total number on a bar graph of the number of complaints related to additional residential units. That was shared publicly on different reports.
So
we have that data.
It's already shared?
Yes. It was part of the decision-making process for this program.
Okay.
The total number of complaints related to garbage, related to cars, related, you name it, anything related to additional residential units, those total numbers are available.
Just one last question. I have received that question as well, because when we talk about that telephone town hall, do you have any idea how much cost it was when we arranged the last teletown hall? How much was the cost?
Which one? The
last one. The
one that we just did, or the snow?
No, regarding regarding this RRL program.
I don't know
any
off
rough
the top
idea?
of my.
Any rough idea? Because I have heard that there were more than $40,000 spent on it.
I don't think so. I don't think it's 40,000, but I can double check and see for sure. Harjinder and I can get that number back to you.
Okay. And is any possibility to raise this point where we can have different town halls in face to face?
Like the timeline right now. So right now, our commitment was to listen to the concerns of the landlords, which many people have provided feedback already.
Okay.
And streamline the process. So we are currently updating the back end of our computer system in order to accommodate and make those changes and make it far more streamlined for the landlords getting their licenses.
Right.
And the timing of that to lift the pause is at the end of March. So at this point, I don't see.
And do we have any number? How many
happening.
people before this controversy? How many people already registered for this program? Do we have any number?
I think it was a handful. There wasn't that many before we paused it, because we paused the program probably about a week and a half into the launch. Because we got so much feedback.
Don't you think people will ask if that many people were in favor of that program, so then why didn't they register?
So the people the majority of the people who know about the program and who are supporting the program are the people and the neighbors who've been complaining about the landlords.
Right.
So
but
that's that in terms of those folks, they probably won't get a license. But I will say that I have spoken to a number of landlords who actually support this program. Yes.
Okay, and I think there were thank you so much for your time, and I know it's almost 20 minutes we took your extra time, and we apologize for that, and I think we apologize to all the listeners as well, because still we have 5 more calls and we cannot take more calls. Anything in your closing remarks?
Yeah, Harjinder, I just want to say thank you to you and the team here at the station for ongoingly sharing this information. I know it's tough and people are passionate. People are passionate in support of, People are passionate like me who want to implement this in response to people who've been pushing us to implement it. And people are passionate about opposing the program as well. Ultimately, the city of Brampton, what we are trying to do is to hold landlords accountable in a proactive way, and making sure that year after year, people understand the basic health, safety, property standard rules by renewing their licenses. And this pilot program, which is only going to last 2 years before we eventually maybe roll it out to the rest of the city, is going to give us an opportunity together to learn best practices and find out where the program needs to be fine-tuned. So I just want to say thank you to all of the listeners and to you, Harjinder, for hosting me here today.
Thank you, Rowena. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you again.
Yes,
thank
for
you
sure.
so much.
ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਰ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੇਖਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਸਾਡਾ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਜੀ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਗਰੁੱਪ।